quilters. Shh. Hi quilters. How would you like to learn how to make this? It looks complicated, but it's actually easy, and it is a great scrap buster. Great scrap buster. Shh. Let me show you how to get started. This block consists of 2-inch squares. You could actually use 2.5-inch squares. I grabbed out of my shoebox full of scraps and grabbed all my greens. And I grabbed all my blues. And my blues included the turquoise. And these are just all different colors of blues, turquoises, and greens. Light greens, dark greens, novelty greens, cafe greens, very pale greens. So there's and some very old greens. Same way with the blues. I've got light blue in here. I've got country blue. I've got dark blue. I've got a blackish blue, navy blue, all different colors. Some cafe in there as well. And my turquoise, same way. And my piles of these were probably twice as big as what you're seeing now. And because I cut my scraps as I go whenever I'm doing a project, all of this was leftovers from whatever I had worked on. So the task of cutting all this up, it really wasn't there. So that was a time saver. Now what you're going to be doing is making 4 patches. And so you can put a green next to a green. You can put a blue next to a blue. You can make any color combo you want to make. You're going to make, for every block you're going to make 1 4 patch like this. And then after you make a normal 4 patch, you're going to make another normal 4 patch. But you're going to put a white square in it. And for every block, you're going to make 2 like this. You will also need 3.5-inch squares of neutral. You can get as loud as you want with these. The louder you get, the harder it is. You're going to be able to see that diagonal path in the pattern of the layout. So these are 3.5 inches, and that will be what the 2-inch measures after you sew it together. If you choose to make these out of 2.5-inch squares, after you put your 2.5-inch squares together and sew them together, you should have a 4.5-inch square. So you would want to cut these at 4.5 inches, which this one's a little bigger. You could make it both ways. All right. The layout for this is going to be in your upper quadrant. You're going to put your neutral to the bottom left. And for the lower quadrant, you're going to put your neutral to the bottom left. If you notice, this stair steps. That's exactly how you want it. I have caught myself several times doing it like this. That is why you see this one with the seam ripper. So when you sew these together, it makes this stair step, and that is the stair step in the pattern. So let's do that again. The neutral goes in the top quadrant, the bottom left. It's going to go right next to your neutral square here. And again, it's going to go to the bottom left of this quadrant. These two are placed exactly the same. Okay? And once you sew these together, Okay, this one's all sewn together, and this is what the block looks like completed. Again, the stair step of the neutrals. Alright, so the hardest thing I had to do whenever I was making this is figure out the layout. So right here is a block. Right here is a block. So basically when you lay this out, you're going to lay it out such that the two big squares touch and the two little squares touch. Let me back up so you can look at that and see. And okay, I've got this square and this square, and I'm still gonna put the square, and so you're gonna get a line of path. Then when you come, and let me find it. Okay, here we have a neutral square. This square we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna make colored, and then it's opposite. So when you come and you look at this and come up here, that block and that block are laid the same way. It is a pattern. I did have trouble trying to figure out how to lay this out, but it worked. Notice that all my scraps, my neutral scraps, are relatively light. That is the key here. If you go dark or very loud with your scraps of neutrals, you will lose this pattern altogether. So could you make all of your background or your neutral the same color and just make them all white? You betcha, you sure could. I am just utilizing my scraps because I have lots of scraps. This is a relatively fast and easy pattern. Okay, so here I have some scraps that are laid out. And to make this as quick as possible, I could lay a bunch of scraps out and then make a quick pass. I see this blue piece is not going to be living up to the dimension I need, so I'm going to remove that. And I see also that this one's not. So let me get some more. So I'm going to lay these out and try and utilize my scraps as best as possible. And now I can make a few passes with my rotary cutter every 2 inches or 2.5, depending on what you're going to be doing. Alright, and now I can get rid of the little bits and bobs. And this one I can trim down to 1.5 inches, so I'm saving that one. This one I can put in my half square triangle bag that I have. Okay, I have strips cut all like this, and now I need to utilize these. Hang on, let me lay that out so I can utilize these. Okay, so we know that this and this and this and this and this and even this, even though it's wonky, I can use it. Okay, I have this one last pass, so let me line that up and make a quick pass there. If you have fat quarters, this is excellent to trim them down to size. Using a ruler like that takes no time. You could also use an AccuQuilt to get to this point. I'm telling you, this is a quick quilt. I've made all these blocks in 1 week. Let me see how much this measures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 42. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 times 6 is 6 at this point in time. If I had all my blocks sewn together, I still have a ways to go and several scraps to use. If I've done this much in a week, I can probably do twice as much in 2 weeks and have a really nice size quilt. You can play with the layout to where you can bunch all of part of the squares that are like this. I could turn this like this, and then I could make this a diamond pattern. And let me go ahead and relay this out to show you. And here is another layout, and I see I have a block turned wrong, so let me make that right. All right. So you could make that pattern. You could also make this a chevron if you wanted. Or you could take kitty, or you could take this motif and just do that repeatedly as well. There's all different kinds of layouts that you can play with. All of these get the same effect. I just absolutely love this layout of scraps. You can use this in any color. So here's my scrap bin. I think if I ever make another one of these, I have plenty of oranges and yellows and maybe reds, or I could go pinks and reds and purples. I went 3 colors with mine. You could do 2 colors if you have enough scraps. You could even probably do a 2-color quilt with this, but you would, I don't know, a 2-color quilt, you would still need a background, so it's still going to be 3 colors. So I've got 4 colors in this one, and it still works. Okay, it looks very scrappy with 4 colors, and that includes the background or the neutral. Again, you can make the background all 1 color and make all of your squares that 1 color. It really focuses the pattern, and it's probably easier to lay out like that. You could make this in any color that you desire. I am very pleased with how this come out, and it is really busting my scraps. Thanks for watching.